everybody, and welcome back to Ultimate Taking Challenge in The Sims 4 with me, Piff. We are in year 1310, which is crazy, and I wanted to make this video very detailed and content rich for you guys. But unfortunately, I have been sick for almost a week now, just laying in bed and feeling nauseous with a very high fever. So I will do my best with this video to make it interesting, even if I really don't feel inspired to play at all. Let's just start the year, shall we? Year 1310. Of course, I want to start this year talking about Lisa. From last year, there were signs that Lisa was pregnant once again. And I'm not going to hold a secret, she is indeed pregnant. And of course she feels excited about it. Her dream of a big family can't be more real than this. Cedric has gotten so used to Lisa being pregnant that he just supports his wife now. But both Cedric and Lisa have a hard time remembering how many kids they actually have. They sometimes forget about the older children since they take care of themselves. The weather started to get pretty cold, and Lisa had so much to do that she often left Adam out by himself. Thankfully, Cedric came to his rescue, as always. Otherwise, someone could freeze to death in this cold. Rosemary helped her father with the crops. This would probably be the last harvest before the winter, so everyone who could had to help. Harvey spent much of his time playing around, doing as little as possible. He is going through a phase right now where he doesn't want to do anything at all. But every child goes through that, so Cedric wasn't too nervous. Rosemary thought he was stupid. She didn't remember when she had the exact same face just some years ago. She saw her brother as lazy and mean to their father, but she still loved him very much. Adam had been sick for some days, so Cedric let him rest as much as he needed. Thankfully, he got better after some days. Soon Christopher would turn into a child. He really wanted to be able to play with his older siblings and maybe get a horse. He remembered that Rosemary got a kitten when she was old enough, so maybe he could get a horse from his father. Cedric was such a good man to his kids that he had already talked with Lisa about getting a horse. She wasn't too sure about it. They already had so much to do every day, and the horse would give them more work. But Cedric insisted that a horse could help them with the farm and make it easier for him, so she couldn't say no. But he had to wait until next year. They had too much right now before the winter. Besides, the barn needed a big renovation before they could bring a horse to the place. Rosemary and Harvey knew how hard this winter could be if they didn't gather as much food as they could. So they made a fishing rod each, trying to catch some fish that Lisa could make soup with. They got a fish or two, and Cedric became very proud of his children. Especially Rosemary, since it was her idea. Harvey actually didn't want to do it, but Rosemary never told her father that. Cedric saw pretty quickly though when they got home with the fish. Harvey looked like he wanted to throw up. The days got more and more cold and the water started to freeze. Lisa hated when she had to clean the clothes in freezing cold water. She could warm it up, but that took too much time. She had a lot of clothes to clean with 6 kids in the household. Did you know that back in the day, people hang out wet clothes when it was freezing outside, so the clothes became ice, and then they let it dry inside to make the clothes more straight? Some people actually do that today as well. I, on the other hand, just live with the unstraight clothes, but I'm also very lazy. But still, very cool and smart. The kids felt how everything felt cold. They had to sleep with thick blankets and sometimes even more clothes than usual. Anything to keep themselves warm. The harvest did not turn out the way Cedric wanted it to. Bugs had eaten almost everything and they only left a little apple. They couldn't survive on one single apple. They had to improvise, which meant gruel. Lisa made gruel for her children so they at least felt like they had eaten something. But it was bad. Her older children couldn't make it on just gruel. She couldn't survive with only gruel in her stomach. Harvey collected some eggs, Cedric went out hunting, and Rosemary took care of the fishing. Lisa took the youngest, feeding them, and tried keeping them alive. In the middle of the chaos, a man knocked on the door. Lisa couldn't believe her eyes when she welcomed the man in. It was her brother Daniel, the brother she hadn't seen for years. She gave him the biggest hug and asked him where he had been. Daniel answered his sister with a little disappointment in his voice. He and April had traveled across the sea in search of his mother. They had gotten married on that ship and knew that they wanted to spend the rest of their lives together. After a year searching for answers, they found Daniel's mother. They had found her in a bar together with a man Daniel didn't know. April talked with his mother, and they later found out that his mother was a whore. Her husband had left her, and the child she once had was with him. She had lost it completely, and Daniel wanted to confront her, and he did. He saw in his mother's eyes that she knew him, but she refused to believe him. She said that she didn't have a son named Daniel or a daughter named Lisa, and if she did, she would do anything to make rid of them. Daniel took that as a sign. His mother really didn't want him. He always thought that his mother got kidnapped, but now he understood. Lisa had told the truth. His mother had killed his father and left with an unknown man over her children. He threw a drink on her and left her. He could hear that she was laughing and calling him stupid. He never wanted to see her again. Daniel wanted to go home to his sister and hug her. But Daniel and April got trapped in the country and had to wait almost 2 years before they can go back. Daniel started working as a merchant and April became a midwife. They didn't care what people thought of them, not having a house or a family. They just wanted each other. They lived on the street, trying their hardest to survive, and when they found out that they could go home, they were so delighted. Daniel told April that his sister's husband had a wonderful farm with lots of food and of course children. They would be safe. On their way home, April also found out that she was expecting a baby, and Daniel hugged her. They would be okay. Unfortunately, Daniel came home to chaos instead of a safe place. Lisa couldn't give them the resources Daniel thought, but Cedric came up with an idea. If Daniel and him took the last money they had and bought a farm for Daniel and his wife, they could start a farm over there and help each other. It was a wild guess, but Cedric believed. So did Daniel. He had always believed in Cedric, so he didn't even think about the offer before he accepted it. Lisa was so happy knowing that Daniel was near her again, and she couldn't wait to meet his children in the future. Her father's legacy would continue. She remembered that he often talked about Daniel continuing the Baker legacy. She could never, because she was a girl. He was the best father for her and Daniel, and it was sad thinking that he never would get the chance to see his son getting the life he always wanted to give him. The winter was here and the field stood empty. Cedric went out every day to hunt for animals, anything to feed the family. Christopher had turned into a child and could finally be with his older siblings again. Rosemary and Harvey were a little skeptical at first, but especially Harvey found his brother very funny. He didn't like that Christopher looked better than him though. The girls couldn't come to Harvey talking how handsome his younger brother was. No way! However, Christopher wasn't interested in taking Harvey's girls. He was actually a very nice guy. He just wanted to help and be kind to everyone. And of course, get his own horse someday. That was very important for him. Having kids in the family who ran around and played was very nice for Cedric and Lisa. They didn't have much time to be with them, but when they got free time, they often spent it with their oldest kids. Lisa wanted to be with Rosemary as much as possible, since she soon would move out and create her own family. Thankfully, she wasn't going to get married until the year 1318. Rosemary was such a sweet little girl all the time. She loved being with her little cat Cookie. She took care of the house like a pro and spent time with her siblings. She still loved to play around, but started to grow away from her childish side and became more of a woman. I would like to know if you guys want me to focus on one sim every video, or if I should talk about everyone in my family every year. The negative thing about talking about everyone is that the video can feel a little jumpy, that I jump between different sims all the time. It's very hard to talk about everyone and come up with what they are feeling and doing all the time. So is it better if I talked about one sim every year? Or maybe focus on some sims instead of all the sims? Let me know. Lisa was pretty sure that her baby would come out any day now and waited patiently. Cedric and Lisa have for a long time wanted to expand the sleeping areas for the kids. They had this big barn that stood empty, and they thought that maybe the oldest kids could sleep in the loft, while the younger ones slept in the main house. They decided that it probably would be a good idea, so Cedric called his brother Edward, and together they renovated the barn with the materials they got. They didn't get far, but at least the kids had somewhere to sleep. Edward stayed for the day, and Lisa gave him some food. gruel, of course. Edward had been spending time with his two sons, Kyler and Jasper. He had also found a woman that he thought he wanted to get married to. Cedric asked him if he could wait maybe a year or two, but Edward was sure she was the one. She didn't want any kids and was nice to his children. Cedric asked who this woman was, and Edward answered with a smile on his face. Deborah Cornett. The same Deborah that had the orphanage where Kyler and Jasper lived. He wanted to be with her? He thanked them for the food and said that Cedric's family were invited to the wedding next year. Cedric just smiled and said thank you. Lisa and her million kids made her tired and she collapsed on the floor. Poor Lisa. Cedric often asked himself how Lisa could be so tired and still want more children. She was a Wonder Woman. The winter was here and the snow started to fall down from the sky. No more harvest, no green grass, no flowers, and no more warm and cozy days. Now the family waited a long winter with cold days, small amounts of food, and hungry animals. Christopher thought he would make it in the cold weather, but God, it was freezing outside. The food was disgusting and nobody felt like they were fed enough. The bath, which once was filled with warm water, was now cold and only there to clean up the body. No relaxing times anymore. If you're wondering who this girl is that's wandering around on the farm all the time, it's from the royalty pack that came some weeks ago. She never leaves, so I decided that she is a little helper on the farm. No name, no family, just a person who roams around. The farm started to get covered in white snow, and the kids actually enjoyed it. Rosemary and Harvey built a snowman to decorate the farm, while Christopher made a snow angel. Snow wasn't that bad when you could do something fun with it. The brothers also had a snowball fight with each other. Rosemary thought that was boring, and she also started to get cold. So she warmed herself under the blanket in her bed. Little Rosemary. Lisa finally felt like it was time for the baby to come out. The pain was the same as the other births she had. She gave birth to a wonderful little baby girl named Emma. Lisa was fine, Emma was healthy, and oh my, I have many Sims now. Later the same day, Daniel came running to Lisa. His wife was in labor and he needed his sister's help. I know I'm not supposed to talk about Daniel and April, but this one time I will. April gave birth to a little boy named Jake. She was very happy to meet her newborn baby. He was exactly how she imagined him. Lisa stood proudly beside her brother and watched April happy. She also saw that Daniel had a little tear pouring down from his cheek. Unfortunately, now with Daniel home and living a wonderful life, we will no longer take care of him, which means that he will go into my unplayed household folder. He will get the free will to do whatever he likes, get more kids, divorce his wife, move away, or die. Hopefully the last thing I said doesn't happen in a very long time. Thank you so much for watching. I hope I haven't sounded too sick and that this video was okay. I'm actually feeling so nauseous right now, so I'm just going to edit this video and put it out for you so you are at least a little happy again. I will also put some questions in the description, so if you want to support me and help with future episodes, check that out and answer in the comments. Thank you, take care, and I will see you in something else. Bye!